Welcome to the Ref Room, hockey talk for referees, coaches, players, and fans.
Broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
With your hosts, Smokin, Silz, and Baumruck.
Live.
The Ref Room starts right now.
And now your host.
Oh, wow. It is Monday. We are back. I am Smokin, Silz, along with my man, Brad Baumruck, after 2 weeks of moving the studio. It is great to be back. It's not perfect yet, but we're working on it. And I hope everybody out there is doing very well. We get back just in time to tell you the season's over, but it's only starting again. So spring will be here before you know it. Lots of stuff going on. Brad, how you doing, man? It's been a couple weeks since we've been able to catch up.
Doing good. You're right. The season is over here in Illinois, but it's not over for nationals.
That's for sure.
So we got nationals coming up in a couple weeks in quite a few areas. And then actually, amazingly enough, Scott, you're right. It is right around the corner. Expected registration is going to open June 1st.
Yeah,
for
people
USA
are already
Hockey.
contacting me about trying
real quick.
to referee. So, we're going to get them going as soon as we can. We definitely have availability for more refs. So lots of stuff has been happening. I mean, we did just finish all the state tournament stuff this weekend. So let's run down some of the winners. I mean, we got a new state champion for high schools. It's not the typical, everybody kind of expected Loyola to win it this year or New Trier. Neither one of them even made it to the finals. We had Viator and Stevenson, which I thought was going to be a great matchup because I've had them a couple times each. And I thought, well, I've seen Stevenson when they get down quickly and then they explode and they can score like crazy. I saw them do that to Loyola Gold earlier in the year. And then, I've had 2 games with Viator playing Loyola Gold, and they were just dogfights. I mean, Viator doesn't score a lot of goals in those games, but they just dogfight it out, and then they get to overtime. And unfortunately for them, both times they lost in those games. So I was thinking, wow, this is going to be really interesting. If they can stay in there and fight and get their few goals, and then, if Stevenson doesn't go crazy with scoring, because I've had them when they go on a drought. And, they lost a game to, I think it was Hinsdale Central over Thanksgiving, 1-0. And they were frustrated. They just could not put the puck in the net. So I didn't know who was going to show up for that game and how it was going to work out. But, congratulations to Stevenson. I mean, that's... big for them, big for their program. So happy for them. Viator's done a great job. It really was anybody's year this year. And, a lot of the favorites, we had the combined, and what did we have? Prep was kind of the favorite, I think, for that. Prep didn't make it to the finals. I don't even know the 2 teams that made it to the finals because I don't see those teams during the course of the year, basically.
Well, Bonzi won.
Yeah.
And they played Wheaton West, if I remember correctly.
Do you know who won the girls' game? Because that came down to the same game as what we had for the league finals. It was New Trier and Latin, or the Romans, as they like to be called now. Do you know what the final of that game was? Because I had it was a 1-goal game. It went till the third period with 3 minutes left, and they finally scored, and it was the Romans winning that game. What happened this year?
Romans won 4-2.
4-2, so they got some scoring in there. Yeah, very cool. And then the JV game, I think the top 3 in the JV were kind of expected. You had GBN, you had York, and you had New Trier. And then the 4th one was GBS. And GBS played a heck of a game in the semis and lost by 1 goal. They were up 1-0. They lost 2-1. Super game. So congratulations to them. They did really, really well. And, New Trier had a 2-0 lead against York in the semis, ended up losing 3-2 in overtime, and if I'm not mistaken. And, just some great series. I guess GBN ended up winning it, which I'm not surprised. That was a really strong JV program. So I think they're going to be looking good for next year. They got I think somebody told me they have a lot of juniors on the varsity right now. So they're going to have a lot of guys to work with next year. A lot of guys. I think they're going to be deep. They might be, the team for the front runner, along with maybe New Trier. New Trier White was really good this year. So they're strong. I expect that they will be a contender next year. Not sure about Loyola. Loyola's depends on how many of the guys from Maroon move up or stay.
Hey, Scott,
Yeah.
a lot of the teams in Chicago have been young this year.
Yeah.
So a lot of the schools had this weird turnover, and then there weren't any players coming in. So it's actually kind of interesting, but I think it's that way. I think somebody told me there was like a 2-year gap of where there weren't a lot of players just in general. So who knows what that's all about? I mean, Hawks dried up or something then.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there's definitely like a gap, and you can tell because a lot of the teams are not as big as they normally are.
Yeah. Well, I've heard there's some changes coming. I understand, that is it Black Bear is the company, I think. They've got another organization coming into center ice this coming year. And that we have it's the Admirals that played out of center ice, and the Bruins are combining, and they're going to become the Flames, somebody told me. So that's a big
they're going to go back.
Yeah,
they're
the Bruins
go back to each other.
The Bruins have been kind of a powerhouse in that Central States division for a long time, so this could be kind of interesting.
Well, Scott, it used to be the Flames.
Yeah, well, that's before my time, though, remember, as a referee, because I've only been doing this for 10 years. So when I started, I don't remember the Flames. I only know them as the Bruins. So
let's point something fun out for one of our friends. So if somebody wants to have some fun, you can go to the Bruins website and go check out their logo that's a bear paw. Go ahead and count how many fingers are on it, because I know a teacher that gets very, very upset because there are no animals that have 5 fingers other than us.
That's right. We're the only ones that have the, let me see if I can get it in there.
Yeah.
That's
so it's just funny to listen to him in the locker room. He was going on about it, so I'll give him a little shout out there for fun.
Give him a plug. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you who it was, but I'll tell you, it really grinds his gears in order to see that. Which
is he a referee by any chance?
Oh yeah.
Is he a fun, kind of loud referee?
Yeah. Yep.
I think I might know who that might be. He's not a He's not a principal, is he?
No.
Does he work for a principal? He works for the principal?
He does.
Yeah, I know who that is. Okay. All right. All right, we got to say hello to some people. I mean, if you want to check in, if you'd be kind enough to say hello to us in the comments, we're happy to welcome everybody, because I am in a new location. So if you see me today and I start turning away from Brad, I'm looking at my monitor over here so I can kind of see what's going on. So I got to get that turned around. We got to swap that. I do have to say thanks to Todd, because Todd spent like days here with me in the studio. I have the knowledge of how to put this all together and how to wire it, but he has the patience to actually like go down there and, make those wires not look like a spaghetti bowl, because before my studio was just a spaghetti bowl. So we will actually have a couple more cameras in here when we finish this, and we'll be able to give you some different angles of some stuff, so you guys can actually get a studio tour. And I think it'd be kind of fun to do that one day, just so you can see what we've got going on here.
The question that I have,
a lot of work. Yeah.
Is how many people saw the show go live on Saturday for a couple of minutes?
Oh, yeah. That was funny. So we were in here working on the studio, and I think I took the dog out. I took Frankie out for a walk or something. Somebody decided to hit the go live button. And all of a sudden, I started getting people texting me going, are you guys moving to a different day for the show? So I guess we were live.
I'm like,
Scott,
I'm like, Scott, did we plan the time to do the test for the studio today? Because I just saw it go live, and I'm on my computer waiting for you to accept my request to join. No, nobody was there, but it was a good show.
Right.
Probably better than us talking like this.
Yeah, because, we didn't say anything that offended anybody that day. We didn't say anything at all, so that's the way it goes. Anyway, I want to say hello to some people that have checked in. Hey, Karen, it was good to see you. I saw her at some of the games. Mike Wagner's checking in. Mark Bialco, Chris Hahn, many others. If you feel like putting your name in here, we'd be happy to say hello to you and welcome you to the show. We're happy to be back doing this. I kind of missed it for a couple weeks. I don't know about you, but, I've really grown to love doing this. We've been doing it for a while now, and I missed it for a couple weeks. I was like, we got to get back up and running here. So
I agree 100%. It's been fun.
Yeah.
So
Do you have
I've
some?
been having a good time.
You know,
Missed you for 2 weeks.
yeah. Let's talk about some of the state tournament games. Let's continue on that. I'm sure you worked some interesting ones. I saw some. I got to supervise a couple of them. Man, how about that U18 series with the Reapers and Mission? I mean, that was I
Yeah,
got to see that. I saw
I,
game two. Wow, what a game! What a game! Went to overtime. In the end, Reapers end up winning. This is their inaugural season, and they end up winning the U18 AAA division. Mission awfully good, man. They are good. That's all I can tell you. So that was a great series. I wish I could have seen Game 3. I didn't get to see it, but I guess Reapers won that. And I'm guessing it was
well,
one goal and maybe an empty
I know
netter.
game two. I know game two turned out to be a 911 situation for the referees
Yeah.
because a referee unfortunately had to be pulled off due to a work situation.
Oh, really?
And that
Uh,
happens, unfortunately. Yep. So
yeah.
they
See,
had to hurry up and
I didn't
find
know
somebody
that.
that was available, and
Because I was
it was a nightmare.
supervising
There
that
was a
game. I
couple
know I
switches that
I
day.
know I got an earful between the second and third period. I believe it was from somebody. I stepped in to assist with something, and just one of those things. It's part of what we do. We did you put any people out this past couple weeks?
You mean me?
Yeah.
I have been super lucky. I don't know what it was. I was at the
Uh,
rink. There was nothing, nobody,
uh,
not a thing. Like even at the state finals, I got lucky. Interesting enough too. Our state finals, the U16s and 18s. One of our own that's coming on the show. When Billy comes on, he
yes.
let him know that Sunday night or Saturday night for the U18 game, he was slotted to referee in the 4 official system. Yet he was turning it back to go work game 3 of the Big Ten finals at Notre Dame.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a feeling you're turning that back.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him with everything that
Yeah.
he's done this year.
Man,
So
what a year
Ben,
he has had. And that
yeah,
guy was a goalie. What a great skater he is. And he's a goalie.
mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, the goalies make the best referees. I really believe that.
Well, they stand
Just
around
the
and
way
watch a lot of the play a lot of the game. That's
they
probably
do.
why.
Yeah, they
They
understand it.
observe
But
different things. So,
yeah.
well, hey Scott, let's go back to the registration. So there's been
Okay.
some changes, just so everybody knows. So again, we're going to open up June 1st. So this is an Illinois thing right now. Not that they're going to open up, but tentatively, USA Hockey is looking to open up June 1st. Illinois is tentatively planning their seminars. So is a couple other states around the area. So if you're in our area, I know quite a few committees have already started to meet. And all the changes are supposed to be out before that. So it's been kind of like we're like, okay, we're waiting. Sounds like they're going to have it out an entire month before, so that can go out to all the instructional staff, and they can start getting their routine put together because seminars can be a daunting task at this time of the year. So our registration and seminars will open as early as we can in Illinois as possible. And I know that's what the rest of the district is looking like. The next thing is everyone will have to be fully complete by December 31st of this
So
year.
that's different from before. You used to have to be, well, we had to be complete by what, November 30th or
So,
something to be eligible, but
so,
you had till March something?
right.
Yeah.
So you had till, I think this year was actually the 28th at midnight Mountain
Yeah.
Time. So it's moved a couple, over the years, but it's going to be December 31st. It's a hard see you get out of town. And
Wow.
it was the switch was, at that point, it's been 6 months. If you haven't gotten certified, why are we taking your money for you to not be able to referee for less than a half a year?
Yeah.
So that was the reasoning behind it. So, but normally, yeah, here what happens is you get yanked off all your games the last day of November for anything in December. Well, that's still going to be the case, but instead of having that extra 4 months like some guys take and decide to finish it up in March, you only got till December 31st.
Okay, so that's a major change, but we have a couple other major
Huge.
changes. So Safe Sport this year, which we will be taking every year,
Yep.
is on an annual ticker, meaning if you sign up and you do your Safe Sport on July 1st, your Safe Sport expires on June 30th or whatever it is, and you have to take it again on July 1st. So you annually, like to the date, if you start July 1, it's July 1 the next year, whatever, you're going to have to take it every year. So that's going to be a rolling clock type thing. And then we have no closed book test this year. So we're going to open book only. And I'm guessing, is that going to be level specific? 1, 2, 3,
Yes.
4. And I'm guessing it's going to 100 questions versus 50 because it will be very interesting
You are
to see
correct,
how that
sir.
plays out. So, which I think is actually a pretty good idea. I think a lot of guys really don't mind opening up the book and learning. That's rather than the pressure of trying to take a test that they feel maybe tricking them on a couple of questions.
Scott, I hated too. I hated how they put that timer up in the corner.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
That
Added
told you.
pressure.
And I'll tell you this: I had to take a test for a license for work, and they said I think I had 3 hours. It was like 3 hours to finish it, all in one sitting. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
The timer, you could make it optional though. You could either have it up, or it would minimize down, and you could minimize it back up.
Okay.
I took it without the timer. I was not stressed at all. I was totally fine, and I finished it, and I still had like 2 hours left to take the test. So,
yeah,
I just that mental part.
I agree.
I didn't. Enjoy.
I agree. It's almost like the starting timer for this show. You can feel the pressure when we put 3 minutes up there.
Yeah, especially when you're still trying to get the camera to work today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything, like certain things just aren't quite lined up the way we'd like them to be, but it'll happen.
Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, so that's good news. So we're already going to be getting the ball rolling here pretty quickly, everybody. Spring League will start up, I believe.
One other.
Oh, sorry.
The heck with spring right now. The heck with spring.
It is spring. It's nice outside.
Yeah, it's beautiful out. Why are we doing this show? So the other thing I wanted to point out is tomorrow night, USA Hockey has their Zoom casts. And tomorrow night, their topic is going to be officials, assigners, and assignments. So this is coming from USA Hockey, and I read the description. I'm going to try and catch it if I can tomorrow. You do have to register for it through USA Hockey. They want to know like your name and your email address and all that stuff. So I would suggest, I'm going to try and get on it, but I would suggest if you have the time, jump on it and check it out and see what they're saying and what really goes into a lot of the assignment stuff for the assigners. That's just my thing, and that comes from USA, and I don't know what they're going to totally cover in topics, but it was sent to me, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to tune into this. I believe it's from 7:00 tomorrow night till 8:00.
Did they say who the special guests will be? Because I think it was to be determined when I looked at the email that came out a couple weeks ago.
I know who's running it, but I don't know if they were going to have any guests or not, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So, because I know Matt was the one scheduled to run it when I signed up for it.
All right. Well, you're assigned to get the details for us so we can report back here next week.
Like I said, I don't mind. I'm very intrigued by it. I hope they talk about some stuff. I don't know what they're going to talk about, to be honest with you, because I don't know how much nationally it goes into everything, and they might be trying to change things. I don't know. So thought it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying, Spring League will be here very shortly because we will kick it off, I'm guessing, first week of April. The teams will be back in business.
I would
and
think.
Then probably roll for, like almost till the end of May. We'll stay busy.
Yep, because new rosters can be created April 1st.
Shamrock Shuffle is already starting to populate. There's lots of games up there, so help out.
The Shamrock Shuffle. Where's that one?
Wasn't that the Shamrock Shuffle in April? They may be changed. What's the Nike Bauer of April?
200 by 85.
Didn't they call that the Shamrock Shuffle?
A little late. I mean,
I don't
You
know.
know, St.
Hey,
Patrick's
what do
Day
I
is
know?
in 3 days.
I know there's just games up there. There's a lot of games up there for like mid-April. I thought it was called the Shamrock Shuffle for some reason.
Uh, you know what? Why don't you keep talking? I'll go look for you.
That's all right. All right. All right. Couple things I wanted to cover. There, like this will probably be a short show. We wanted to make sure all the equipment was working so we can get
Yeah, that
back
was
to
the big
business.
thing, and to say hello.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a big part of it. Let's see. Oh, we got something. Got a couple things here. Hey, Carl. Carl's checked in. Brendan's checked in. All right. Carl says the IHOA website does not have meeting notes from recent times. Please release the meeting notes from 2020 and 2021.
The meetings are open to all members.
There you go.
So if you want the link, let a board member know. They'll pass it on to the president, and they'll get you the link to join.
Brendan says, do you guys know if the wording on some of the situational questions are the same? Are you referring to the tests that are going to be coming? The situational questions?
I would think so.
Hey, Marty Tong checking out, my man. What's up, buddy? Good to see you here. Where is the Zoom link?
You have to ask. You'd have to
I
get
will
it from
email
the
the
president.
board. Yeah, email them,
Yep.
Carl, and I'm sure they will respond and take care
Oh
of it.
yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. So here's one I wanted to talk to you about. This was interesting because I kind of had a little debate yesterday, and it was the guy that was actually running the tournament. Like, he's the rules guy. We had this was the Midget House Championships. Did all three of them yesterday. Real hockey. Guys that are actually passionate about playing. Trust me. And
They
the
just
fans
want to
were
be there. It's a
passionate
lot
too.
of fun.
Doesn't mean they know all the rules, but they're passionate about it. So
Hang on. I got a good one for you. Now that we're talking about this,
okay.
I got an excellent one.
All right.
I had the playoffs. I think it was the week before. So we go out on the ice for the third game. We have 3 in a row.
Yep.
We go out for the third game. And as we get out there, the one team informs us that the other team has a goaltender out there that played in the game before. And I went, great. He plays for 2 teams. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, upon further investigation, what do you think was going on there, Scott?
Well, I'm guessing they were short a goalie, or they needed a ringer goalie, and so they just decided to bring him on so they could have a game. That could be one possibility. Possibility 2 is he decided he wanted to be a forward that day for one of the games and decided he'd just get dressed because he feels like playing.
Yeah, no. So come to find out, both of their goalies didn't show up.
Yeah.
Who knows why?
It's house league. It's house league. Got
So
other
I-
commitments.
So I said, well, okay, he's not rostered, right? No. Well, technically you can't skate an unrostered player, and we're not going to do that because we're not going to void out the insurance here, having an unrostered player on the ice. The coach's response to me, which I did not enjoy and I think is a very uneducated response. Well, it's only a Bantam house game or a midget house game. Yeah, I would love to talk to an attorney about that when something happens and just say, well, it was only a midget house game.
Yeah.
So,
it's interesting that you mentioned that too, and we can go down this road too, because let's just talk about a men's league game last night.
oh, that's not good.
And
Men's
one
league,
team is
get away from men's
getting
league.
slaughtered and the clock is running. And that team that's getting slaughtered ices the puck over and over again. And the guys are like, well, you could just waive those. I'm giving you permission to waive them. No, dude, here's the deal. If it's icing, it's icing. Icing when the game is close, it's icing when the game is not close. We can't just change the rules upon your request because you're the
Correct.
captain of the team. Sorry, guys. Can't have your cake and eat it too. That's the same thing when you get like these, I'll call them the intro to hockey type games, the might squirt games, where it's like, well, if they're close to being offside, it's okay.
It's okay.
Until it's a scoring opportunity that they don't agree with or it's going to hurt their team, then all of a sudden you got a problem. So I really am a
Yep.
believer, if I know a lot of the guys who watch the show aren't always working the lower level games, but people that are checking out the replays here on YouTube, if you're working a lower level game, get used to just being consistent in the way you do things. And I'll go a step further. Be consistent in the way you dress for games. I can remember when I first started reffing, I had a different system. I had the pants that don't have the built-in protection. You had the girdle that you put on, and it was like a process. So if I was working a mite or a squirt game back then, I'd just put the pants on, like, not going to worry about it. In reality, you should, because probably those mites are going to take you down more than anybody else, and you're going to need the padding. But, when you go to getting
hit you with sticks.
Yeah, if you dress the same for every single game, everything feels the same way to you, it's just like a good way of doing things. So we didn't even think about talking about this as a topic, but it is a pretty good topic. So, when you start getting like your Stevens or your Reek or your Bauer or your CCM pants or whatever brand you wear, and they've got the pads built into them, it's really comfortable, and you just get used to what you have on. So if you're a newer referee and you're thinking, I know a lot of the young guys that are 14, 15 years old, they think they don't need elbow pads, they don't need shin pads, they don't need anything. But they're all tough at that age. But you do need stuff. You do need shin pads. You do need elbow pads. Wait till you have, you work a higher level game and somebody fires one off the glass and you got to put your arm up.
Sure.
And that puck comes right here on your arm and you don't have an elbow pad. Trust me.
There was a young gentleman several years ago. He's in my age group, and he never wore shin pads. And all of us were like, "What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
You're gonna catch one in the shin, and you're gonna really regret it." No, blah blah blah. He goes, "Well, CCM weekend, or I think it was actually Nike Bauer at that time, or Bauer even. It was so long ago. Caught one right in the shin and broke his shin in half."
Wow. He caught a good one.
There you go. Guess what? I don't think he skated it it was like 8 months, I think, or something like that. It was a really long time.
Yeah.
And he had a long recovery with it too. And now when he runs or anything or walks around too long, he gets all kinds of pain that starts out in his ankle and goes up, and it's not good. Yeah. So
yeah.
Wear some shin pads.
I know some guys
pads.
that have busted their elbows up pretty badly because they didn't wear elbow pads out there. And, you can go a step further. Some of these guys, you can be at a JV game and they don't know how to take a face off. For some reason, they put somebody else in there that's not a center. And what do they think they should do? They think they should whack you in the shins as the referee, as the linesman. You should just get whacked in the shins. That's the face-off procedure. So, see it all the time.
I love it.
Take a look at all the referees' pants that are cut up down at the bottom of their leg, okay, in the front. It's probably from guys that just whack them with sticks or trying to step over them, along the boards. So if you see a referee and you see the bottom of his pants are shredded, you'll know why.
Well, what's interesting is I noticed it's become more of a habit for the players that are on the backside of the referee now to all 6 guys end up at the dot.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't get this either, because the other thing is the centers now don't think that there's any space between they think their heads are supposed to be over the dot. Like, I'm going to invade your, so they're not even like this. They're like this. They're like this sideways, glued to each other. You can't even put the puck down. It's like, if you want me to put the puck down, you're going to have to give me room to put the puck down. Like,
that's what I do.
There's hash marks over there. You can put them in on the sides, but especially center eye, like they're like this. I don't get what they're trying to do.
The centers, I can tell to back away. It's the 2 guys that are going to bum rush me from behind.
Yeah, from behind,
for absolutely no reason, because you're going to run into me anyways. You're not going to get the puck. I'm just going to knock you over. I don't understand. Yeah. Like, and then but 4 guys come into the middle, and then the 2 centers are standing there, and I'm like,
you're preaching to the choir.
What is going on here? Like, does anybody?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm coaching against one of those teams,
coaches really need to teach players about what the object is when you're in the face-off circle. The object is to, get control of the puck or make a play with it. It's not just to whack the thing as hard as you can, like slap shot against the boards or backhand against the boards. So, it's something that they really need to be taught. And I don't think that
like-
that's something that is taught to a lot of the players.
I think the most creative breakout that I've seen in my career of officiating has to be the high school defenseman when the center wins it clean to him, and he tries to 747 the referee's head with a puck.
Oh, you're referring to on the penalty kill.
No, on any play.
Oh, on any
That
play.
seems to be the standard
Just to
now.
watch it.
So,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I've done this many years. So, good little tip: when you see them lining up to where it looks like they're going to hit you with the puck, and the center has a really good opportunity to win it,
They're probably
turn to that
going
guy. Turn to that guy before the face-off and go, "Hey, I'm not going to move. Please don't hit me with the puck."
Yeah.
And then pray.
Yeah, because good luck to you. Because I've seen how many times they can hit the net. It's not very often, so they're probably not going to be very accurate anyway.
I'd like to point out in that game where we had no goalie, they played without a goalie. I must have seen 12 crossbars hit with no goalie. I thought we were playing 3-bar.
It's pretty tough sometimes
And
to
I'm
put
not
a
putting
beach
the
ball
play
in the
down.
ocean. To throw a beach ball in the ocean is not that easy, apparently.
I just noticed. I'm just like, is anybody going to score? Like, I don't understand. Like, the game was tied for like a period and a half.
Yeah. I can remember one year in men's league, the only game we won that season was the night we didn't have a goalie and we played with 6 forwards. Yeah, it was a tough season.
Yeah, see, the guy that was reffing with me just commented on it. Crossbar out of play 3 times. He is right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So one of the other things I wanted, that we were starting to talk about with this rules thing, we got sidetracked. We have a habit of having that happen with the two of us. But so we talked about this on the show a long time ago, like going down to a shootout procedure. And the shootout procedure is, you have a 3-man sudden death. Now, this league has it different. They have a 3-man sudden death, and if it's tied after the first 3-man sudden death, you go to another 3-man sudden death. And then if it's tied at that point, it's continue until you run out of players on the roster. Well, it happened that one team only had 10 players, and the other team had 15 players. And I said, so we're going to come down to the roster, and when they finish with their 10th player shooting, we will go back to, everybody can shoot, like we're starting from scratch, because that's fair. No, everybody has to shoot. Well, wait a second. So the team that has 15 players is going to have to put their bottom 5 shooters up against the top 5 shooters of the other team. That doesn't sound fair to me.
Well, I can tell you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I mean, because I'm sure we had this discussion and said you start from 1 at that point, not from 11 versus 1 on the shootout. And the guy told me, no, it's going to be 11 versus 1 at that point.
Yeah. So the fairness is the roster. Now, I have noticed there are quite a few league playoffs now that specifically note, so you have to go back to the league notes.
Yep.
All players on each roster have to shoot.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful of that. But then there's also like you're talking about. So they have the 3, then they have the 3. But then after those, then the players can reshoot every 6 spots.
No. So this guy was saying you're going to have the 3 and the 3. Right. So that's 6. So now your 7th shooters are going to come out. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yep. And then the other team will be 1 versus 11. And that's where I was like, that's really not fair. It doesn't matter.
7, 8, 9, 10, 1 through 11. You lost me.
Okay, so we got.
Yeah, just clarify. You lost me. You lost somebody else.
All right, so we got 3 shooters and 3 shooters. So that's 1 through 3. Okay,
yeah, I got
and
that.
They've gone. Now we got the next set of 3. We have 4, 5, and 6. Okay, 4, 5, and 6 versus 4, 5, and 6. All right, we get through that. And now we're in sudden death. So now we got the 7th shooters coming out. Number 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, but now they only have 10 on their roster. So they go back to shooter number 1, where the other
Right, and
team
then the
has
other one
15
goes
guys,
11,
which means it's 1
11,
versus
12.
11 at that point.
I got you.
I don't think that that's fair.
Yeah. So it should be down to one roster and then restart the cycle.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but
We
there
talked
are
about that,
quite
and
a,
I thought that is actually the way it's supposed to be done.
there
And
are
he
quite a
insisted,
few
no,
leagues.
they're not doing it that way.
There are quite a few leagues that have it specified in their notes, though,
Yeah.
that your entire roster has to shoot. They've completely eliminated that situation.
Yeah.
So,
I don't agree with it, but you
well,
gotta follow the rules. I just don't think it's fair. I don't.
I
Their
I don't think a
argument
lot of,
is that everybody's got to play equal, or I guess, which from that standpoint that makes sense. It's house. It's not like Central States or AAA or something like that. Otherwise they'd probably have 3 shooters and they could start shooting again. put the same 3 out there and let's keep going.
Hey, IIHF, the same guy can shoot over and over and
Yeah,
over and over
exactly.
again.
You've seen it in the Olympic game. We've seen it in the Olympic games. We've seen that, for the USA, the same shooter go over and over and over again.
Yep.
So, it is what it is. But I just thought that was interesting. I think as we're starting to see more of these shootouts and, overtimes and, 3-on-3s or 4-on-4s, whatever they're putting out there, I think we need to talk about some of these rules and consistency because they're not in the USA Hockey book.
Well, they did finally set up in the USA book some standard procedures, which I thought was really good. At least they're laying the groundwork.
Yeah.
I want to ask the referees, do you feel that every league game should have an overtime? So let's say it's 3-on-3, 4-on-4, whatever it is. And if they cannot get it settled then, should they then have a shootout or should they just go directly into the shootout? What do the officials think? I'm just curious because, let's say you got a 17-minute period game. Okay, we've already done those 17 minutes of each. So let's do like one. If you're okay with them having the overtime, whatever their overtime is, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, or 5-on-5, and then having a shootout afterwards? Or do you feel that in league play that the teams should go to a shootout?
So I see, should they have a 5-minute overtime or should they have a 10-minute overtime and then we'll have a shootout, or should we just go right to a shootout and eliminate? I mean, it is interesting. I kind of like, here we go. It's Monday. It's not Wednesday.
Yeah, it's not even the right day.
And what is it? It's scam likely. Anyway, so, I see where you're going with that. I do like the interesting dynamics, and I think it was more fun when we were just starting to see the 5-minute overtimes, 3-on-3, because the players, a lot of them didn't even know what to do because they've never done it before. It was kind of a new thing, and they don't understand, like, it's really about control and possession of the puck. You don't want to give the puck away and let somebody else have control of it. So it was a learning thing, and it was fun to watch. Now that they probably practice, they get it. And it's exciting. I mean, I like it's 5 minutes of pretty good hockey. A lot of scoring opportunities.
All right, I got an idea.
But I think here's what needs to happen.
Wait a minute.
Raise the fees to cover this additional time and figure it out, because we sometimes cannot get from building to building when we are going, like on a set schedule here, and the schedulers are trying to get you from point A to point B. We need to know what the length of these games is going to be, because we are up against the clock driving from,
You lost your camera.
Wow. I didn't even do anything. That's
everybody,
bizarre.
There's already comments coming in that they like this view better.
Was this planned? Because
I don't know. I thought it was
right.
Funny,
I don't know why the camera just went out. That's bizarre. See, we got,
does it have a sleep mode?
No, it doesn't have a sleep mode. It's actually on a dummy battery, so it's not even battery.
You know what you should do? You should turn me off too and see if anybody leaves, because we're both in the dark.
Yeah, well, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I wish I had a be right back, but yeah,
we might be ending the show.
I'm going to see if I can unplug it and get it to reset. Oh, that was the stream deck.
So oh boy, here we go. All right. Oh,
Okay, let's see if it comes back now. I think the trick is we're going to have to get it off this hub and go direct. That's the problem. And
well,
that's,
on that note, Scott.
hang on.
All right.
Let me,
So Scott's over there redesigning his entire layout. But so, does anybody have an opinion? Throw it in the comments. What does everybody think? You think there should be that overtime and then the shootout, or do you think with time constraints and how many minute periods we're playing already, do you think the team
we
should go
lost
to a
that.
shootout? Because we don't mind doing a shootout,
we
but
lost that cam link, so somehow we just probably didn't
Oh.
have enough power to that thing. So, all right, well, we'll finish our discussion. I'll just be black screen here. I'm okay.
that's
with that.
fine.
Let's
We're
go
getting
to
more
the,
people watching now.
Here, yeah, probably have more
That
viewers. Finally got Silz off. It's all good.
Well, what do you think, Scott? Do you think, other than at the beginning that you already put, at this point, what do you think? Do you think they should do both? Because I'm a believer. This is my personal opinion. One or the other.
Yeah, it's two different dynamics. I mean, that's the interesting part. And even the NHL, they don't have the overtime and the shootout like that during the playoffs. They go to, we're going to play until we get a winner. Hockey stays the same. Well,
Right.
we should probably just go to a shootout, a three-man shootout, and get it done. Because it is two different dynamics. You have two different specialty teams. You've got either guys that can take penalty shots really well and, move the puck very well. Those are your guys you're going to go to for one thing. And you're going to put different players out there possibly for, controlling the puck and moving it and getting some scoring opportunities. You're still probably going to be putting your best players on the ice. The reality of it is, I'm guessing it's your best 3 to 5 players on your bench, your first two lines. They're going to play most of that time or go into the shootout. So
True.
I think we could probably just go down to the three-man shootout sudden death and call it a day, especially for regular season. I could see it maybe for a playoff game or, some sort of a tiebreaker that needs to take place in a tournament.
I don't think
I think that's cool,
any
but
thought.
you're doing 3/17s with an ice cut. You're already there for 2 hours, at least, maybe more. Now we add in, possibly a 4-on-4, a 3-on-3, or something of that nature. We got a shootout. If it's not a sudden death, we got more than 6 shooters possibly. I know I had GBN and York JV earlier this year. That's an SHL game, the JV, 8-round shootout. And that was, did we have overtime in an 8-round shootout? I think that's the case. So we were there for a long time, and I ended up getting to my next game to start the second period because we ate up so much time. I couldn't get from point A to point B. So this is something that really needs to be considered for everybody, because otherwise, as we're stretched thin on referees, you're going to have, a 2-man crew down to a 1-man crew, and a 1-man crew, you might be down to nobody crew because the guy's stuck at his last game. He can't leave. You can't leave your assignment until you finish it, right?
Correct. Well, here's the interesting thought process that I have, Scott, other than the time and all that and, yada, yada. When does this part become less skill and player development? And when does it come to appeasing the parents that want to see somebody win? Why can't the players play that allotted time and end in a tie? I don't understand it. The extra time it's not building any skill in game times. All the skill building is considered to be done in practices. Hey, there you are.
Hey, I'm back. Yeah, I had to turn the camera. I had to get that.
That's the other point that I have is this appeasing the parents, or is this something that a youth goaltender at whatever, let's say, Pee-wees or whatever, because they're doing this at all different levels.
Right.
Do they need to get beat night over night in a shootout one-on-one? I mean, is that building skill development, confidence, or fun for that goaltender that has to consistently go through it?
Yeah. I mean, you make a good point there. And the other thing is, well, if you're going to do that, then why do you have teams that are running up the score and they only put 5 goals differential up? If you're going to beat them 9-0, put the 9-0 up.
Yeah, my
I had that
dad's one of
men's
those
league game
people.
that was a slaughter last night, and I went over to the scorekeeper 4 times. I said, put the real score up. He wouldn't put the real score up. He kept it at 7 goals. I'm like, put the
Hey,
real score up. These
he's a
guys
nice guy.
these guys I don't like. Put the real score up, okay?
Oh, there
Like,
you go.
yeah,
Scott's
okay.
picking and choosing.
They were being difficult. Put the real score up. Let them know how bad they're getting beaten out there.
Let's end the note. Let's end the show on that positive note. Scott mad at men's league. I can see the top.
Mad at
right
men's
now.
league. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Put the real
All right.
score. Put the real score up.
Put the real.
Put the real score up.
I'm one of the people. Put the real score up. I'm with you, but I get
There's
where
days you
people
take
do
a
it.
beating. It's just part of the game. It's it's good for your character. Sometimes it
Yes.
humbles you a little bit that you're getting beat up that badly when you think you're actually pretty good at what you're doing, and that's not the
Yep.
case. So,
All right. There's a question over there in the
okay,
comments.
let's see what we got. Let's see. Most of the comments are, it was great having no camera on Silz, but that's beside the
Yeah,
point.
85% of them are.
Yeah. What's the Scott Foster rule, Marty?
I don't know. I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, Marty, you'll have to elaborate on that. Let's see. There's a
hey,
young
hey,
ref whose shin pads look to be sewn onto his pants.
Good for him.
When he outlined is very obvious, it's not a good look. Oh, I think I know who that is, and I don't think those are sewn onto his pants. I think his pants are
Tight.
just kind of a mess, and I think he's
Yes.
got a shredded shin tight that seems
There's
to
an
show. And
Yes.
I think that's who you're thinking of. I know who
I
that
believe-
is. And
I believe I know who the official is as well.
yeah, I think so too. Let's see. You never know when the number 11 guy puts one in. Also, each coach can put his bottom players in the top 10 so that his top 5 match up the other team's top 5.
Yeah, but you're talking
in that
repeat.
situation, you can't, because you can't match. Like, you can match your top 5, but when you run out of players, they get to start over again. Their top 5 go, and your bottom 5 are going. So it's that. I think that's where we were going with that in terms of the.
Scott Foster. Got it now. Backup goalkeeper.
Oh, okay.
Emergency
Yeah. There you go,
goalkeeper.
Marty.
Got it.
Marty's witty when
Got
it
it.
comes to that stuff. That's right.
Got it.
All right. Then we got Bobby says, WTF, Scott. That was me trying to call you. Save the scam likely. It did. It came up as scam likely. So I don't know if that really was you trying to call me or not. If it was, next time text me in advance or something so I know.
Not a chance.
Some of the Central States games just end in a tie, no OT. No, I think Central States is playing. They have overtime now.
But they don't have a shootout.
No, they have overtime, and then there's no shootout.
Then
So
it's
they just
over,
play
yeah.
the
It depend-
5-minute
it's-
overtime.
There's so many variances now.
Yeah. All right. Brendan says, speaking of shootouts, I was having trouble finding this rule. Can a team sub a goalie for certain shooters they will face? That's an interesting question.
Does the rule book state that you can change your goalkeeper during a shootout?
Well, you can change your goalie for a penalty shot in USA Hockey. So, why wouldn't you be able to change your goalie in the shootout unless they specify that you can't change the goalie?
There you go.
You can change the goalie if your team is
Sure,
going
you
to be
wanna have
facing
the
a
right
penalty
to
shot and you
match
want to
up.
change your goalie, go right ahead and change him. That's perfectly legal. Probably
you got 10
you probably
goalies-
drive some of those parents crazy doing that. They'll all be screaming because they don't know the rule, but the rule is you can change.
Hey, Scott, you got 10 goalies in your bench. You got 10 shooters on the other team. You want everybody
right.
to have fun?
You want to
Change
go
'em out.
one-on-one. There you go. Put your number 1 goalie out against the number 1 shooter. Put your number 10 goalie out against the number 10 shooter.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. 1 versus 1 OT for 5 minutes. So 3-man shootout, then game is over, whether there's a winner or not. 1 versus 1 overtime for 5 minutes. Oh, you want to go 1-on-1 for 5 minutes, or you want to go
What is
3-man
this?
shootout?
Yeah, Rocket League style.
Oh, he wants to
No
go
goalie
1-on-1.
either.
Yeah, that'd
No
be
goalie
interesting.
either. We'll throw the puck in the middle. They both start from their nets.
There you go.
You don't play Rocket League, you don't know what I'm talking about, Scott.
Yeah, I don't play Rocket League, so I don't
Yeah.
know. All right, question. 2 players on the same team get in a fight on the same bench. Yeah, I've had that happen in men's league.
I've had it happen in high school hockey.
Yeah. So the rule
He
on
wants to know
that,
what the penalty.
so it does happen. The rule is there is a penalty to the team. And
Yeah,
I believe
the
it's for
players.
it's an unsportsmanlike, correct?
The players get their normal penalties assessed,
Right.
but they do not reflect on the clock.
Yep.
But the team is given a bench minor for delay of game.
Yeah.
Bench minor for delay of game.
Yep. So you get they probably get their 5 in a game suspension.
But that 5 doesn't go up on the clock.
It doesn't go on the board. Only 2 minutes is going up on the board against the team. Correct. All right. And Marty says the Scott Foster rule is that goal is available for both teams. Yes, thank you. And Carl said, "What penalty do you call?" Well, I think he was referring to what we were just talking about, yep. And that was the penalty that we would call in that situation. So believe it or not, we still almost got through an hour with no agenda.
Well, we had a slight delay in there with, the camera going out.
We kept talking. There was no, we played through the pain. we played through the pain. That's all.
We should have a guest next week.
Okay.
We're hoping.
Yeah, I like that. We'll get back in the thick of things here and rolling. We got to get these. Yep. I got to get this monitor moved so my head turns towards that way. I want to look that way at you. So, yeah, that's part of it. All right. Well, thank you guys for checking in. Don't forget, if you like the show and you want to sponsor the show in any way, shape, or form, you can by going to buymeacoffee.com/refroom. Let's see if I can get one. There it is. Buymeacoffee.com/refroom. Big news?
I looked. I think I only saw 2 or 3 people watching on Facebook today.
Yeah. Well, we are going to move away from Facebook. We've been saying that for a while, so that will happen at least by next season. Like, we will be 100% game on just YouTube. So if you haven't changed your subscription over to YouTube, please go over to YouTube. It's youtube.com/c/refroom. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button so you can find out anytime that somebody comes over to my studio and decides to hit the go live button without me being here, and you'll be able to watch.
Poor guy's taking a beating for doing all that work.
That's funny. He was going to do it again the other day. I'm like, you might not want to do that. He goes, well, let's see how many people click in at that point. So.
They might get annoyed. All right. Well, it was a good week.
All right. Yeah. Glad to be here. The phones are dinging. Is that yours or is that mine? They're blowing up.
I believe
I'm
that
getting
was
missed calls and attachments and everything else here. So
yeah, I've had 3 phone calls, so I better get going. Plus,
wait, one more comment. Marty says, "Do you give teammates trying to break it up a third man in when they're fighting on the bench?"
I think you've been penalized.
No, you don't give them a third man in on that one. Just in case you guys didn't know that. I know Marty knows the answer to that. He's just giving us a little bit of his wit and humor. But no, you don't give him a third man in for that. Otherwise, I'd have had a third man in for that one time. I had that down at Johnny's Ice House. Yes. Had one of those. That's always entertaining when your teammates are behaving badly.
All right.
Good times in men's league. There you go. That's a whole nother show. Yeah. We got to talk men's league. The season's over. Well, what we got right now is men's league. We've got men's league right now. So yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Have a great week. We'll be back Monday at 5:30 p.m. Central right here, and that's daylight savings time. I don't know about you. That trashed me.
Oh yeah, I got up.
Did that do you in?
My alarm clock said it's time to get up. My brain said, no, it's not.
No. Rimming, no. Go back to bed. All right, guys.
All right.
We'll see you next week, 5:30. Ref Room right here. I'm Scott Smokin Silz along with my man, Brad Baumruck. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one. Where's the button? See, now the button's even on the wrong side to finish this thing. See you guys.